After an emotionally draining and tiring day, Youngjoon and Miso have a quiet, simple dinner at Youngjoon's house. Miso says that being honest is always the best thing, and Youngjoon tells her that, honestly, he doesn't want to waste even a moment of this night with her. But just as things are really starting to heat up, Youngjoon's phone rings. He ignores it, but it rings again almost immediately, so Miso tells him to answer just in case it's something serious. It's Yoshik, and luckily for him, it turns out to be an emergency. A French company with an exclusive business deal with them is being targeted by a UK company. Since they're such a well-known and influential brand, if they decide to break their contract, Yumyung would incur some serious financial losses. Youngjoon asks for a report on their potential loss, and also on the profits the French company has made from being sold in Yumyung duty-free locations compared to their competitors' stores. Left alone, Miso starts to button up her blouse again, then wonders if that's weird in case Youngjoon comes back. She gets all flustered just imagining him undoing her top, and gulps some more wine to calm her nerves and steady herself. After reviewing the numbers, Youngjoon tells Yoshik that they can't afford to pull the French company's products and will have to revisit and adjust their contract, which he believes is their true hidden motive. He and Yoshik decide that they need to head to France first thing in the morning. Youngjoon realizes that if he goes to France, he won't see Miso for a week, so he feels like he really needs to make tonight count. But by the time he gets back to her, she's drunk and completely fast asleep. He pointedly grumbles in her direction that he's leaving for a week-long business trip tomorrow, and that she'll regret missing the chance if they don't make the most of tonight, but she doesn't wake up. Even a sudden, violent coughing fit right in Miso's ear doesn't work, to Youngjoon's deep disappointment. Finally, he gives up and carries her to bed, and he settles for a kiss on her forehead, waving away his mischievous, naughty-minded devil. He complains that at this rate, he'll become an absolute expert in forehead kissing. In the morning, Miso finds herself alone in Youngjoon's bed, and she realizes with horror that she drank too much and fell asleep. Youngjoon is sitting nearby, and he says grumpily that he did not sleep well at all. With a nervous giggle, Miso asks about the phone call last night, and Youngjoon sighs that he's leaving on a business trip. Miso helps him pack, and he gives her a back hug and whines about not seeing her for a whole week. He threatens to smuggle her along in his suitcase, but she says she has important work to take care of. Youngjoon takes a picture of himself with Miso's phone to keep her company while he's gone, then takes one of her picture for himself. He also takes their picture together and teases that he'll punish her if she doesn't contact him often. She asks how, and he punishes her with a long, slow, and thorough kiss. Youngjoon is already sending, "I miss you," texts to Miso before he even gets to the airport. She responds with several heart emojis, which he returns, and Miso nearly gets caught simpering at her phone by Jia. Youngjoon sighs, "So cute," and Cheol, who's driving, is all, "Thank you, sir, I get that compliment a lot. It's funny." They video call that evening and joke about who missed who more. Youngjoon complains that he's jealous of hard-working Kao for sitting on the bed next to Miso, so Miso elbows hard-working Kao off the bed and says that Youngjoon's place is now completely free. Youngjoon goes to his meeting, with the little box of caramels Miso tucked into his document folder. He successfully renegotiates their contract with the French supplier, then tries to call Miso, but she's busy in a meeting. She lies in bed that night, staring at Youngjoon's picture and thinking about how much she misses him. GWI Nam is promoted to Youngjoon's office team, to everyone's delight, even Jia's, who's regarding him a lot more favorably since he helped her with the notes she shredded. The whole team wills to hear that Youngjoon will be back in 2 days, and when Sera wishes his plane would be delayed, Miso loses her temper and slams her palm hard on her desk. At the airport, Youngjun nearly runs in his eagerness to see Miso, making Yoshik complain about his long legs. Youngjun says he's worried about how much Miso misses his handsome face, so he's come home a little early to surprise her. A frigid wind blows through the office, indicating Youngjun's early return. Seeing Miso smiling at GWI Nam for his efficient work, Youngjun scares 10 years of GWI Nam's life with his jealous glare. He's more friendly to the new intern than he is to GWI Nam, and he tells Miso to come see him in his office. Once alone, Youngjun fusses that he cut his trip short and flew for 12 hours to see Miso smile at him, only to find that smile aimed right at someone else. His distress just makes her smile even wider, and at the beautiful sight, he goes starry-eyed and kisses her without warning. He wraps her in a hug and says they should stay close now that they're back together. He takes her for coffee, unconcerned with all the work that's piled up while he's been gone. He tells Miso that he never skipped class as a student, and that this is the first time he's ever skipped work, just to spend time with her. Seogyeon is still in the country, and he thinks about his childhood. He remembers how confusing it was when Youngjun's name was so similar to his, and how Youngjun got special tutors due to his high-level intellect. The day Youngjun was kidnapped, Seogyeon had left him alone on purpose, and in his guilt, he'd convinced himself that he was the one who had actually been kidnapped. He had been planning to leave the country, but he tells his parents that he doesn't think he should run away again. He says that it was never Youngjun he truly hated, but his own self, for being so jealous of Youngjun's so-called perfection. Mom apologizes for not paying enough attention to him, and she asks for his forgiveness. Dad also says he is sorry for unintentionally comparing Seogyeon to Youngjun, and Seogyeon says it's not too late for them to begin again and start fresh. When Youngjun and Miso get back to the office, Jia is all on Twitter analyzing over a rumor that Youngjun has a girlfriend. A friend got a photo of him kissing Miso's hand and texted it to Jia, though luckily Miso's face isn't visible. Miso admits she was with him but says that she waited in the car and didn't see the so-called girlfriend. Jia sees a text pop up on Miso's phone from Youngjun, saying that he enjoyed skipping work with her. She asks if Miso is the girlfriend, but Miso lies that the vice chairman who sent her the text was someone entirely different. She almost gets away with it, but Jia recognizes her bracelet from the picture. She meekly apologizes if she ever said anything upsetting about Youngjun, saying that it's hard to hear someone badmouthing your boyfriend. Miso keeps denying it, but Jia doesn't believe her anymore. She shows Miso another angle of the picture where Miso's face can clearly be seen in a faint but obvious reflection. Miso begs Jia to keep it a secret, and Jia assures her that she's smart and loyal. But she's giggly all afternoon and keeps referring to Youngjun as your boyfriend. She's dying of curiosity and asks Miso a zillion questions until Miso retreats to Youngjun's office for some peace. She tells Youngjun that Jia knows about their relationship, but he doesn't much care. He says it would be better if they just went public, especially since guys wouldn't hit on Miso anymore. She argues that they're not hitting on her now and refuses to make things public, even forbidding any more skinship at the office. Youngjun pouts that he can't do anything he wants to do, when relationships should be about compromise. He complains that it feels like Miso wants to hide him, but she says she's protecting him because of his social influence. Youngjun says he'll try, but he can't guarantee he won't run out of patience. At the end of the workday, everyone wants to go out to celebrate GWI Nam's addition to the team. He says he finds work most welcoming, and they marvel that he really is a true workaholic at heart. Youngjun nervously asks if Miso is coming to his place again, but she says she's not having nightmares anymore. He stammers that there's still something they have to do, that thing they couldn't finish before, and Miso goes wide-eyed when she realizes exactly what he's talking about. Youngjun says he can make it sound sexier if she wants, throwing out some descriptive phrases, but Miso stops him when he gets too erotic. With a grin, Youngjun says that the sexiest thing he can think of is that he loves her. Then he says it again, plainly and sincerely, "I love you." Jia is surprised to see GWI Nam arriving home early after he said he was planning to work late. He admits that he lied for fear that he'd be roped into paying for drinks, so Jia asks if he'd be up for a welcome party with just her, as thanks for helping her with her notes. He refuses again, but she snatches him by the backpack and tells him to shut up and follow her. Just before they get to Youngjun's house, and as he's getting nervous, Miso gets an emergency call from her father. He's in the hospital with a mild tendon injury that he got while stage diving at a rock concert. Miso tells Youngjun that her father is fine, but that she'll have to stay with him overnight. He offers to stay with her and meet her dad, but she says it's not a good time, and that he must be tired after his long flight anyway. She sends him home to spend the night alone with his naughty devil, who teases that this definitely isn't why he rushed home 2 days early. Poor guy, he even hallucinates that the devil is a girl now, and she can talk. GWI Nam thoroughly enjoys his free meal courtesy of Jia, and even gets a little drunk. Jia asks why he's so frugal when rumor has it that he makes good money. He looks a little sad, then chirps that it's a secret. Jia says there's no shame in how he lives and asks why he keeps it all hidden. GWI Nam explains that when he was young, he thought that everyone lived in a tiny apartment like his family, and he was never ashamed, because they were happy. But as he got older, people made him ashamed, because they couldn't even give him compliments about his good grades or solid job without tacking on, despite his family's circumstances. He says his goal is to save a lot of money and buy a big house, so that his future wife and children never have to hear such things. He reveals that he saved up $1 million, about $100,000, and Jia asks how he managed it in only 4 years with the company. He tells her that he spends very little, invests in stocks, and that when he has a family, that's when he'll finally enjoy spending what he's earned. Miso beds down on the couch in her father's hospital room. He says he heard she's quitting her job to find herself, and that it worries him so much he can't even eat properly. He blames himself for the fact that she hasn't been able to live how she wants, because he's never been what people would call successful. But Miso says she's glad he's lived life the way he wants. She tells him that she's quitting to get some much-needed rest, and tells him not to worry about her. He reminds her that Beyoncé became more successful after leaving Destiny's Child, and says that leaving Youngjun will make her more successful too. Youngjun lies awake, hoping to hear from Miso and checking his phone every 3 seconds. Finally, he texts her, but she's asleep and doesn't respond. In the morning, Youngjun takes particular care with his appearance. Miso calls, and he graciously decides to forgive her for not texting him back the night before. But she's calling to ask for the morning off since Pilnam can't come take care of dad until the afternoon, making Youngjun instantly pouty all over again. Missing her, he stops by the hospital on his way to work. Unfortunately, she's gone to dad's place to pick up some of his things, and she yells at him not to go up and meet dad alone, since he doesn't know anything about their relationship. GWI Nam seems nervous when he brings Jia a report she was supposed to do, stammering that he did it as thanks for the food and drinks last night. She blushes and thanks him, and he says that finishing work makes him feel refreshed, leaving her with a cute, lingering grin. Just as Pilnam arrives to care for Dad, Youngjun texts Miso to ask her to come to work as soon as she can. Pilnam asks her to have lunch first, saying she's got some news, and Youngjun keeps texting non-stop while they eat. Pilnam tells Miso that she's quitting her job to work in a friend's clinic, and hands over her entire severance as payback for all the money Miso earned to pay off her student loans. She makes Miso take the money despite her objections, saying that Miso needs money if she's ever going to get married. After lunch, she insists on buying Miso a dress she sees in a shop, as Youngjun grows hungrier and hungrier waiting for Miso to show up so they can eat together. When she finally returns, Youngjun sees the shopping bags and assumes she got him a gift. He's disappointed to learn that not only did she eat while he was waiting to have lunch with her, but she also went shopping for herself. He tells Miso that it feels like she didn't think about him at all. She apologizes, so Youngjun asks if she'd like to come to his house tonight. She accuses him of acting like a bulldozer, pushing her to spend the night with him. Confused and frustrated, he goes to Yoshik for advice. Yoshik reminds him that this is Miso's first relationship, though Youngjun argues that it's his, too. He says he's excited and wants to treat her well, but Yoshik says he still can't pressure her. He advises Youngjun to take his time, and Youngjun asks how he's supposed to do that when he's so completely crazy about her. Yoshik just says that if he doesn't stop sprinting while Miso is just learning to walk, she'll get tired and leave him behind. Mayum brings Yoshik a piece of cake she picked up for him at lunch. She trips and falls into him, and they both end up with cake all over themselves. Yoshik takes it calmly, saying that it happens all the time, so often, in fact, that he keeps several spare shirts at work. He tells Youngjun that this is exactly what happens when you can't control your speed. Miso overhears Sera on the phone making a date with Cheol for tonight, though she still doesn't know who Sera's new boyfriend is. Sera wonders what they should do after dinner and a movie, saying that the night is long and they're both burning up with passion for each other. Miso goes back to Youngjun, who apologizes for not controlling his speed and for being too impatient. He says it's like he's been suppressing his feelings for 9 years, and now they're all bursting out at once. He tells Miso that their shared past was horrible, but if he had to go through it again just to meet her, he would, without hesitation. He leaves for an appointment and goes home afterward, alone. But when he arrives, he finds Miso outside his house, waiting for him, and she says she came to apologize for not being more considerate of his feelings. She says haltingly that she's not planning to go home tonight, because she wants to stay with him. Youngjun looks like he's almost afraid to believe what she's saying. He warns her that if she goes into his house now, he won't be able to control his speed, and he doesn't plan on stopping. Miso just turns and walks inside, then turns back to see if he's going to follow her. He does, and this time, when he kisses her, there's no question where it's leading. Youngjun carries Miso to bed, where she finishes helping him take his shirt off. He lifts his head to say he loves her again, and this time, she tells him softly, "I love you, too."